Now the next point are the figures. So these buildings, they're like Roman style buildings, which means these windows are not normal windows. They're massive. They're absolutely ridiculously massive. So do not draw Mr. Tom here this high, like this is a normal domestic house window. Look carefully at your picture and you'll see the real Mr. Tom is this high. So it's really, really low. These windows maybe come down slightly lower, not much though. And because these are also very, very high. So once you've established one figure, this will tell you the height of all the other figures, because all the other figures are going to be the same head height. So if we have figures in the distance here, their heads begin here. And maybe they come down to about here. So there we go. Like that. And that's how we get our perspective. And if we have some guy here, he's going to be the same head height. And then there's his body. And there's his legs. You can make him a bit smaller if you like. And we could even have somebody here, or here shall we have, even closer up. Can you see that? Same head height. And that's how we get this lovely perspective. So that's quite a good example of how to draw figures the right size in this city scene. And then you have to remember very much about shadows as well. Just like lines of perspective, shadows also follow these lines of perspective. So we've got a shadow here and we've got a shadow here. Now the thing is, this line is here. This figure will have a shadow too, and like the lines of perspective, it won't be like that. That'll look wrong. It'll be at least parallel and maybe slightly going up a little. So like there. Maybe I should do that with paint. So the shadow line is here, and this figure is going to be either here, parallel, the shadow, or it's even going to be slightly higher. And then we do our shadow there. And the same if we have another figure here, that shadow is going to be the same or even slightly higher. And his too, slightly higher. It's really important to take your time and make sure these shadows are looking like matching and, yeah, what do you say? That they're just correct. And you don't have weird shadows going off in strange directions. And it happens a lot. So do take care with that. So I think that's it really. Those are the really, really major points in this painting that you need to focus on. So let's just try and recap if I can remember. So number one was using the grid technique to help you get the right perspective and a good drawing. And I told you about erasing the lines, the crosshairs, after doing that. The second thing is these invisible lines of perspective for the path and establishing where this line goes, and if it's like in agreement with this line of the building and this line of this building, and then working out where your vertical line is, and then from that you're working out how to space these lines correctly. And then when you do these lines across, making sure they get slightly shorter and shorter and shorter. And then we did the windows and the ledges and balconies and how you need to draw possibly these lines of perspective and how they will start down here but slowly go up, up and get steeper, steeper, steeper. And not only will these angles get steeper, but they'll also get wider, fatter as they get closer. And finally the figures. that these are Roman style buildings, and the figures are going to be really low. Their heads are going to come just above the bottom of the window, about this height, that small. But once you've drawn your figure, you've now established the head height for all your other figures. The only thing you need to worry about them is how far down they come. The closer they are, the further down they come, and the further away they come down a lot less. They're shorter. And that's how you get that lovely perspective. And the final point was to have your shadows in agreement, so they're roughly all at the same angle, or as you come across here, they're going up a little, just a tiny bit. It's probably better just to do them all parallel, but if you feel very confident, have them going slightly up as you come further across. That will just add to the strong feeling of perspective. So I think I've dealt with most of the difficult points in this painting. If you like, do use a sketchbook like I have done here, and just practice this if you like for your own, development. And then let's have a go at the real thing. Okay.